What's going on, everyone? Welcome to AFC Game by Game. And first of all, I just want to apologise in this video for not doing a face cam. The reason behind that is I'm feeling a bit rough at the moment. I don't look all that great. But I wanted to do a video. I suppose it's more of a podcast in theory. But I just wanted to do something because a lot of Arsenal transfer news going around today. And we have got that huge game in the Community Shield tomorrow. So I just really wanted to express my feelings and predictions regarding those two topics. And I want to hear some feedback from you in the comment section below of just general Arsenal news at the moment. And the big thing at the moment, obviously, Thomas Vermaelen, and he looks like he's off to Barcelona. BBC and Sky Sports announcing that he's agreed to join Barcelona in a 15 million deal. Well, Vermaelen hasn't agreed personal terms, but Arsenal and Barcelona have agreed terms. All that's left for Vermaelen to do is pass the medical, agree personal terms, and he'll be a Barcelona player. It could be as early as today for all we know. But yeah, regarding this transfer, I mean, Vermaelen leaving, it was always imminent throughout the whole summer. I think every single Arsenal fan expected it in a way. In my personal opinion, it would have been great to keep Vermaelen. He's an excellent squad player, but at 28 years old, going to be 29 in November, he does need to be getting consistent game time, and I can totally understand his decision to leave. I can totally understand that. But in my opinion, he's been a great servant to the club. He's been extremely loyal. He hasn't complained about having to sit on the bench. He hasn't blabbed to the media about where his future lies. He's been incredibly respectful. And therefore, he's earned my respect as a person, and he's such. It's a shame, really, what happened to him. In a way, it is a shame that there was that excellent combination between Mertesacker and Koscielny, because Vermaelen, on his day, the 2011-12 season, the 2010-11 season, when he first joined the club, he was an absolutely phenomenal defender, quite easily one of the best in the Premier League. But he really did go off the rails a bit, a lot of inconsistent performances, a lot of very poor performances of that in the 2012-13 season. Saw him lose out to Mertesacker and Koscielny, who have arguably been one of the best partnerships we've had at the back for a good long while, and the only real way he was going to get game time was if one of them was injured, and that didn't happen an awful lot throughout the season. And whenever he did play last season, in my opinion, he just wasn't up to scratch. I just don't think he was good enough. In games against Everton, when we went there and lost 3-0, I thought he was god-awful, to be brutally honest. But he just doesn't seem to be getting back into the way of things. He didn't seem to work in our system. I do think a lot of that is down to him needing consistent game time. He needs to be playing regularly to get back to his best. I honestly think his best games are at left back for us this season. I think when he's played there, he's done really well. He's been consistent. I think he played there when we went to Bayern Munich away. I can't quite remember. I believe he played there. I remember him having a fairly decent performance there. And if I was Wenger, I'd be tempted to sell Monreal and revert Vermaelen to a left back. But what this does mean is that there is going to be a change of captaincy at Arsenal, which is something that honestly, I'm so glad about this. This is the one thing that did annoy me with Vermaelen, is that I love a captain that fulfills that kind of Tony Adams kind of role. Vermaelen, I'm sure he's a leader off the pitch. Mertesacker, other players have said that. I don't doubt that whatsoever, but I love the ideology that you're going to have a player who's going to be playing week in, week out, someone that the players are going to look up to. And the blatantly obvious candidate for me is so obviously Per Mertesacker. I'd be really disappointed if he didn't get a captaincy. He's going to be 30 in a few months, so he's got the experience. He could be a good stopgap captain. I don't really want to put it like that, but he would be captain for 2, 3, 4 years. I mean, when his legs are going to conk out at some point, and he is going to lose his way a bit, and then I'd make way for someone like Aaron Ramsey or Jack Wilshere, who do seem to be the two young candidates. But I'm really hoping Mertesacker gets it. He's been such a good authority figure for us this season. Incidents such as that game when we lost 6-3 to Man City, where he barked at Mesut Ozil to go and say, go and applaud the away fans. It's great that we've got a player like that. The younger players will look up to, and someone that's going to be playing consistently and has a huge role at the club to fulfil. So I'd definitely give it to Mertesacker. But it's also flying around that the captaincy could be given to our vice captain, Mikel Arteta. I can totally understand his decision, but at 32 years old, is he going to be playing week in, week out for us? And I don't want to be going back to a Vermaelen situation where we've got a captain that's going to be sitting on the bench week in, week out. I don't like thinking about that. And Arteta, he is an authority figure. He is someone all the players look up to. But if he's not playing week in, week out, if we haven't got him barking orders on the pitch, and that will frustrate me a bit. So I'm really hoping we give it to Mertesacker. We continue with Arteta as vice captain when he plays. But apart from that, I'd love to see us promote Ramsey and possibly make him third choice captain. I think that'd be a sensible move. A lot of people are crying out for Koscielny. I can understand that as well, but he doesn't strike me as someone that's going to bark orders at players. I can respect everyone's opinion on why they want him to be a captain at Arsenal or have some role in that responsibility. But for me, he just doesn't cut it for me. I think he's an excellent player, but I don't know how well he'd do at captain. And the next big thing I wanted to discuss, the Community Shield game tomorrow afternoon at 3 PM. Back to Wembley for Arsenal. Going to be a fantastic game, a great afternoon for everyone going. Going to be really exciting to see our new signings on the big stage. Well, I say the big stage, the Community Shield, a charity football game. It is going to be an exciting game. We'll see how well both teams are equipped. Looking at Man City, they are going to be about a whole heap of big names for this, including Company, Demi-Chelis. He might not be a big name, but he did play a big part for City last season. Zabaleta, they're going to have to be playing players such as Boyata at the back for them, which is going to be a whole new experience. One player that does stand out for me from Man City though, Stefan Jovetic. He's had an excellent pre-season with them. He's going to be someone that we're going to have to watch, as well as players such as Edin Dzeko. And it's going to be really interesting to see how Arsenal cope in the middle of the park, because we do blatantly need to be signing a defensive midfielder, someone such as William Carvalho or Sami Khedira. And I wouldn't say it's looking less and less likely we will something like that. We'll sign someone like that. I mean, there's a whole pretty much a month of the transfer window left. I think we're going to get William Carvalho in all honesty, but that is going to be a hard deal to sort out given the co-ownership with him. But I'm confident we'll get a DM. But it will be interesting to see how we cope with Arteta or Flamini or Wilshere and Ramsey in that pivot role, with one of them playing the defensive midfield role. It's going to be really interesting to see that against players such as Fernando and Yaya Toure. Personally, I don't think we'll cope. That's just my honest opinion. I think players such as Wilshere and Ramsey, maybe not Ramsey, but certainly players like Wilshere could get overpowered by the physical build of the likes of Yaya Toure and Fernando. We do definitely need to be signing someone who's going to boss that midfield, because that's where we got overrun time and time and time again. Going forward, we're brilliant with those kind of players, but defensively, it just doesn't work for us. That's where we were getting absolutely obliterated in the middle of the park last season against Chelsea, against Liverpool, and obviously against Manchester City, because we don't have players that can make hard tackles on the likes of Yaya Toure or Nemanja Matic, players that are going to bomb forward and just outmuscle the likes of Jack Wilshere. And Arteta, throughout his pre-season, hasn't been impressing me whatsoever throughout pre-season, and it's going to be really interesting to see if we start Arteta or Flamini. Flamini, he might not have the technical ability of Arteta, but Arteta, he just can't run anymore. He can't keep up with players. And in a game like this, when you're having to keep up with the athletic players, I'll say Yaya Toure again, prime example, it's going to be really difficult for him to do that. So I would personally like to see Matthew Flamini start that role. I haven't got a concrete starting 11 in my head. I mean, there are a few alterations I'd make, but thinking off the top of my head, I'd probably go Szczesny in goal, Debussy, Koscielny, Chambers, because of course we got no Mertesacker because of the World Cup, Gibbs, and then I'd probably go with Ramsey and Wilshere just to see how that pivot's going to work out for us, and if in fact Wilshere does do a good job there, because Wilshere's tackles are alright, it's just he's not a really commanding presence. Then on the right hand side, I'd go with Alexis Sanchez, through the middle Santi Cazorla, on the left hand side Oxlade-Chamberlain, and up top, that's the big one for me, would we go with Giroud, Sonogo or Campbell? Personally, I'm inclined to play any of those three candidates. I wouldn't mind seeing Joe Campbell play as a striker. I know he's predominantly a winger, but seeing him as a striker for us would be really interesting. I mean, he did play there for Costa Rica during the World Cup, and he was absolutely phenomenal for them throughout their World Cup campaign. So maybe he could do a good job there for us, but he hasn't got the kind of tall build of players such as Sonogo or Giroud. And Sonogo's been having a really good pre-season. He scored 4 goals in that game against Benfica. So maybe start him. He's looking an awful lot better as well. I mean, if you're looking at some of the things he's doing in training, he really is showing positive signs. So yeah, it does look good from here. Hopefully we can get a win tomorrow, pick up the Community Shield and go into that game against Crystal Palace with absolute confidence that we're going to have a really good campaign. And if we can bring in a few more additions, if we can bring in someone before next Saturday, a defensive midfielder, that would be ideal. and we could go into this new campaign with absolute confidence. I'm feeling really good about it now. Really excited to see the likes of Sanchez. Tomorrow I'm excited to see how Chambers will perform on the big stage. Same goes for Debussy. Going to be a really good game. Really looking forward to it. Those have been my thoughts regarding the Vermaelen transfer, and also just discussing that very, very briefly. It did look like he was going to be going to Man United. A lot of people saying that he turned down United. In my honest opinion, this is just my opinion, I think he did want to go to United. I believe that personal terms were agreed with him and United. But we're in a kind of situation where we can pick and choose what club we sell him to, because he's not demanding a transfer there. I think it was his preference. I can understand that, given his mate Van Persie's there. And of course Van Persie did demand a move there, but Vermaelen, he's a more respectful individual and he's not demanding a transfer there. And it's great that we're in this situation where we're able to pick and choose where we're selling our players to. It's really great for us to be able to do that. And Barcelona, I'm going to wish him all the best there, because I really hope he does succeed there. I hope he breaks into their starting 11, and I really hope that they actually get the best out of him. I'm going to wish him an awful lot of luck there, because I think he deserves it after all the troubles he's had in the past year and a half. He does deserve some rebate. He has been a quality player. I do wish him all the best, like I'm saying for about the 5th time now, but I honestly do wish him well. Anyway, those have been my thoughts on, like I'm saying again, the Vermaelen transfer and the Community Shield. Leave your thoughts on both those topics in the comments box below. Again, I'll apologise for no face cam. Like I said, I look really rough today. Didn't particularly fancy it, but in my review of the game tomorrow, hopefully I'll be feeling a bit better, and I'll have a face cam up for that, so you can all bask in my elegance. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and speak to you later.